Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny and today I'm going to give you guys some more non-new release recommendations. This is an ongoing series on my channel where I highlight books that are no longer in the limelight, but I still think are worth looking up if you haven't given them a try already. Today I have 5 fantasy recommendations for you guys. I do have a couple of fantasy genre blends if you guys are looking for something other than just straight fantasy, but all of them are books that I have read and dearly loved, and I don't hear anybody talk about them anymore, which kind of makes me sad. So I hope that within this list that you guys find a book that you are interested in and that you will absolutely love. If you have recommendations for books that you have loved in the past and you don't hear anybody talk about them anymore, put them in the comments. Let's create a space where people can come and get a whole bunch of recommendations that aren't new releases. The first book I'm going to recommend to you guys was actually brought to me by Battle of the Booktubers, and I am so glad because it is a book I had never heard of prior to that competition, and it is also a book that I had a lot of fun with, and I need to continue the series because I haven't yet. That is The Wickwire Watch. This book, you follow a young man, I can't remember how old he is, but his name is Inkwell, and he is kind of a pickpocket and a thief, but he ends up taking something that makes ghosts take attention to him. These ghosts are not good creatures, not things that you want to interact with, and so he finds himself on the run. He ends up coming across a group of individuals who tell him that they will help him, they can get him away from these specters that are hunting him. But he realizes that the group of individuals who has reached out to help him are on the run from something as well. And you are following this world that seems very simple at the very beginning of the book. You know, maybe we're thrown a loop because of the ghosts, but it becomes quite vast in the story. I will say, just so you guys are aware, that all of the answers for all the questions that you have throughout the book are not answered at the end of this. That was my one complaint about this series in general. I haven't continued from here, but I am used to series kind of wrapping up at the end of a book and maybe leaving a couple of threads, whereas this one just seems like the series is going to be a continuous storyline. So I did really enjoy it. I love the mystery components. I love the history behind the group that he ends up becoming kind of part of their community. I also enjoy Inkwell's growth and questioning of who he should trust and finding out information. It's quite cozy at times, but not the entire thing isn't cozy. It's just there are little tiny moments of coziness throughout the story to give you a little reprieve from a lot of the action. I really enjoyed it, so I hope that you guys will as well. Next, we have the Monsters We Defy, and this is a fantasy mystery that is set in the 1920s. You are following a woman whose name is Clara, and Clara has the ability to talk to spirits. And within this ability, she ends up having a spirit reach out to her with a request that she steal this object. I don't want to give too much away. Steal this object from someone, and Clara, because of different circumstances, is wanting to do this. She ends up working with somebody that she doesn't expect to work with, and they kind of put together a ragtag gang to go through this heist. This book is very rich in its atmosphere of the 1920s. A lot of the scenes are set in jazz bars, and I just really enjoyed the characters, the not mystery component, but like the heist element, why they have to steal this item. It was very fun. The next book is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and this is a cozy fantasy romance surrounding a woman who is a witch living in a society where witches don't usually congregate. They don't usually live around each other because of the various information you learn about the magic in the world. And she finds out that there are 3 young witches who are living together, which is not something that witches are supposed to do, in a home that doesn't really know how to care for them. And she decides to become their nanny, essentially. And it's about her dealing with the wanting to keep these siblings together, but also dealing with the societal expectations of witches, not from regular society in general, because they're kind of secret, but from witches and the society of witches. It's very, very sweet, very cozy. There is a romance component between her and one of the characters at this house. It's very much Grumpy Sunshine, and I just had such a good time with it. This author also has another book, I think, coming out this year, maybe next year, called I think it's The Magical Guide for Innkeeping, something along those lines, that I'm really excited to read because this was just such a sweet story. The next recommendation I have for you guys is another series that I need to continue with. And I think I might be on the last book because I'm pretty sure this is just a trilogy. That is The Alchemist of Loom. I have so enjoyed this steampunk fantasy. It has been just a wild ride. I really enjoyed the characters. I think I liked the first book better than I liked the second one, but I'm hoping that the ending of the series, it ends in a blast. We'll see. But in this first book, you are following two main characters, two POVs. One of them is kind of an infamous figure within Loom, as she is someone who protects the city. She's definitely a little bit of a radical, and she protects the city by killing dragons. And what you learn is that the city of Loom has been taken over or conquered by dragonkind from Nova, and they have all but changed their way of life. And you learn throughout the book how they have changed it, to what end, whether or not this is good for the citizens of Loom, and so on and so forth. And this infamous character who hates dragonkind, who's trying to, reclaim her city for her people, ends up running into a dragon. And this dragon requests her to take him to the Alchemist Guild because he has some information that they might want. The Alchemist Guild is kind of the last stronghold against dragons completely taking over Loom. And so she's intrigued and they travel together. The relationship between these two individuals I thought was really, really well done in the first book. The second book, I think that it's good. I just don't think it's as good as the first book, but I really enjoyed this. I think that it's very creative in its depiction of dragons and its depiction of what we call chimera. So I don't know how much I want to tell you about them. Just keep in mind that they are called chimera because they can literally build themselves, not build themselves, that's not the right word. They can implant things within them to give themselves different magics. I think that's all I want to say. It was really fun. I am excited to end the series, hopefully in a grand way. Speaking of grand, I have left the largest series for last, and this is a series I have talked about on my channel before, but it has been a minute and I don't hear a lot of people talking about this series anymore. This author has moved on to other things. This series is completed. It is a 5-book series, if I remember correctly, and they are all quite chunky. And that is The Chorus of Dragons, starting with The Ruin of Kings. I really enjoyed this series. I read it to its completion. Each and every one of these books has a unique way of telling the story. So I can't really give you a good summary of what's happening. I will talk about the first book, Ruin of Kings. You are following our main character, Kieran, but there are a lot of other characters you also follow. There's a ton of POVs and characters involved within this storyline. But Kieran, at the very beginning of the book, is in prison. You know that he has burned down the city, but you don't know why. And he's being interviewed by someone. And in this interview process, they are tossing a rock back and forth that records their thoughts. And you're hearing Kieran's story of why he decided to burn down the city. And Talon is the person who is holding him prisoner, is interrupting him, kind of getting information from him along the way. But then you also have someone reading the transcript of this conversation between Kieran and Talon and telling you, the reader, what's right and wrong. And you don't really know who that person is. They're little footnotes throughout the storyline. I just thought it was very fun. And every single book doesn't necessarily do this exact thing, but they all have footnotes and they all have a reason for having footnotes. It's a massive fantasy series involving dragons and, I don't know how much to give you, lore, and I don't know, it's with the cast of characters that we have, you also get to know their families, their background, why they are who they are, and the different turmoils and stuff that they've gone through. Oh, it's just such a good series, and I am a little sad that, you know, not a lot of people talk about it anymore. So I'm hoping that maybe this will be like a little push into the universe to see even more people read it. So those are 5 non-new release recommendations that I have for you guys. I hope you found something that you are interested in. Once again, if you have a recommendation for me or for the audience that will see this video, if you have a new or non-new release recommendation that you think deserves to be back in the limelight, please leave it in the comments. I would love to add to my TBR and have a safe space for people to come in and find these releases themselves. If you're not feeling chatty but you still want to let me know that you're here, put a crown emoji in the comments for Ruin of Kings. Thank you guys so much for watching these videos. I hope you have a lovely evening, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!